It's good to see you again.
Good to see you,
Veronica. It's good to see you again.
Good to see you too.
Good to see you,
So how are you ladies doing?
Okay, we're doing so well.
Right.
Yeah.
Obviously.
Looking forward to an intense weekend. I mean,
intense.
So you don't also say I like to sound so serious. Okay. But I've been reviewing a book and I intend to finish it today.
Okay.
Yeah.
Great.
So after the show, I intend to go back to the book to finish a book on financial intelligence.
We need it this time.
I tell you. So I've told myself it's a knowledge issue. Enough of blame games, passing it on here and here. Let's see what we can do on our own.
On our own. It's important that we don't always wait on the government to do things for us. We should look inwards to know what we can do for ourselves. Toby?
I'm fine. I'm very well.
Obviously.
So after the show today, I'm hosting a panel session at the Velocity Conference. It's holding in Onikpan. So after the conference, after the show, I would be at the conference, and I look forward to it. And then on the side gist is that, you know, my son started a business.
Yes, now
peeled
the beans,
peeled beans business, and I'm so excited about what the business is actually becoming now. Yes, the growth is just phenomenal. And so we have, do you know about it?
I saw it one time.
So we have peeled beans for making akara, moi moi, and all of that. But, I mean, looking at, you know, because I'd run a shea butter business for 7 years, and now moving to the food space, the difference is clear, because people would always eat. People have a choice whether or not to, you know, cream their body and all that. Yes,
they can use any other thing.
I mean, so food manufacturing is the way to go.
We should consider it. Interesting. Well, I had a good week, but one thing I think that has been underrated, not overrated, is the matter of sound mind. So over the week, there was the World Mental Health Day, and then, you know, we have seen reports of persons or people, how they different situations. Recently, a woman poured hot oil on her husband, and we've seen people try to take their lives. And all of that, but I looked at myself. Okay, you're not in that space, so I should be grateful to God for sound mind. It is not finite, but then it is something one has to be grateful for. Then I also look forward to the coming week. I have I'll be moderating a panel. We're looking into the matter of out-of-school children, which is an issue that we have to be talking about. Nigeria bears a huge burden with regards to the matter of out-of-school children, and then we are looking at the issues around it. So these are issues, or this is a conversation I'll be looking forward to in the coming week, moderating a panel of persons who are in that space. So let's dig into.
Would it be live?
It's live, and then it's also there are those who can join via a link, so to speak. Yeah. Okay.
Then there's debate today.
There's TVC's women debate happening today. That's true. That's true. So the students, the finalists are gathered. They'll be gathering later today for that debate. We're looking forward to an interesting one.
Absolutely.
And we'll get a winner out of that debate. But it's good to see young ladies debating, you know, pushing a cause for themselves. It's a good one. So let's quickly go on a break. But then life itself is a story, a recollection of events that shape one's journey on earth. Do you want to share parts of these stories with us on Your View? This will enable people to share in your experience and learn valuable life lessons from them. You can also get answers to troubling questions and possible solutions to any challenge you're facing. You can do this anonymously or otherwise. Send such touching stories to us on yourview@tvccommunications.tv. Tell us your story today. Share your burning issues with us on Your View on TVC. We can now go on a break. When we return, we'll be looking through the newspaper headlines. Stay with us.
Stay tuned. Your View will be right back.
All right, thank you for staying with us. Let's begin with the Nation newspaper. And the major story here says, Tinubu to Supreme Court, Obi Labour Party's appeal met jamboree. And some riders, President, Vice President, ask Apex Court to reject their suit. Says APM's challenge of Shetima's nomination, waste of court's time. A certificate saga attempt to truncate civil rule. Basiru is speaking. And then another story here. Nigeria's 87 trillion naira total debt profile manageable, says IMF. As International Monetary Fund speaking, denies debt restructuring talks with government. And another story, how Nigerian scammed 70 American businesses of $6 million. Wow. How Nigerians scammed 70 American businesses of $6 million. Another story, Ondo Assembly denies halting Ayeda Tiwa's impeachment. Ondo Assembly denies halting Ayeda Tiwa's impeachment. And then another story here, 2,800 dead as Israeli orders Gaza evacuation. 2,800 dead as Israeli orders Gaza evacuation. We all know of the crisis between Israel and Palestine as it is, and it is being recorded that the death toll has hit 2,800. Another story here, Mohbad's Corona summons Naira Marley others. Mohbad Corona summons Naira Marley and others. At the top corner, we have CAC, SUN, SMED, and 11 others get new chief executive officers. And Imam is new former board chair, Agbasi, MD. Tinubu appoints Ononuga Yakubu as SSA. And finally, on the front page of the Nation, President pulls the FCTA as the Federal Capital Territory out of Treasury single account, says Civil Service Commission for Capital Territory. Why I accepted to work with President by Wike. The Minister of the FCT speaking there. Who has a story?
I have a story. Tinubu appoints 14 new heads of agencies under Trade, Industry and Ministry. So according to a statement by his special advisor on media and publicity, Ajuri Ngelale, President Tinubu's action took roots from his focus on establishing the nation's economic survival on trade expansion using small, medium, and large-scale industries as a springboard. This statement further noted that the appointment takes effect immediately. President Bola Tinubu has approved this appointment, I think, around the Trade and Federal Ministry of Industry, Trade and Investment. Yeah, okay, so that's it. Yeah.
So the new appointments that the president made, well, has got some persons talking, others are not speaking, but the concern is that there's been talks about cutting cost of governance, and the president keep appointing people, but he understands what he's trying to achieve at the end of the day. So let's keep our fingers crossed.
Okay,
and see what happens. Okay.
So another beautiful thing is, so it cuts across different parts of the country. So we have Hussaini Ishak, who's the northerner, his son as well. We also have an Ogun Oluwatoyin, who's from the southwest, and then we have a Noye. So I think it cuts across, and he's saying to them that I'm going to hold you guys accountable.
Yes,
so giving people an opportunity, yes, to be part of governance and not just putting it at one end.
And I think it douses the popular rumor that people were saying that it's only people from his tribe that
yes.
So in a way, he's still practicing inclusiveness in a very subtle way.
Well, he had mentioned earlier, before he came into power, that he is all about a government of national competence. So competence you can find across the country. And so if he found these people as being competent enough to deliver on their mandates, so it is good to see that we are seeing that semblance of federal character. And as against the matter of nepotism, but a lot of persons are still not speaking to the fact that he's achieving balance one way or the other.
But I feel in another 6 months, 9 months, there will be a lot of exit too.
How do you mean?
Because the appointments come with a very, very strong clause. So, you know, he has this renewed hope agenda thing, and he's saying, I'm not going to do it alone. You are not renewing hope.
Yes,
so it's not a come to sit
as well.
It's not a come to sit
So there's going to be, it's like key performance index and key performance action. So
not like we have had in this country,
you'll be shown the door.
Yes.
So we'll be looking forward to that
one.
So I have the story on how Nigerians scammed 70 American businesses. And so this man is a 40-year-old Nigerian. His name is Alex Ogunshakin, but he's now awaiting trial in the United States. But he was in Nigeria, but was extradited to face the trial in the US. And so he used what is called the business email compromise scheme, BEC. So what he would do is that he would pose as the president, the CEO of these companies, and then he would say that he would send mails telling members of staff to wire transfers, right? But because they felt or they feel that it is coming from their boss, they would send it. So this story says that there was this particular 2 unnamed companies in the US lost more than $530,000 in the scam. And so as a result of that, a lot of companies amounting to 70 of them have been scammed by this man known as Alex Ogunshakin. But he didn't work alone. He also had conspirators that aided this. But gratefully, he's been caught and is awaiting trial in the United States. The beautiful thing is that he's not awaiting trial here, right? He's going there to, he's now there to face it, right? And so I'm hopeful that this serves as a deterrent, really, to other people currently doing
serve
this.
as a deterrent? Because I know of several investigations that have been carried out in Nigeria. In fact, one recently, they came to Nigeria to investigate a woman who was scammed of her monies and all of those things. We see these investigations, but these people are still thriving, so to speak.
They will still, well, the truth about it is that if the law catches you, you will know that you may not find it funny, because, you know, the aim is to tell people to stop, because you might be caught.
But what they will tell you is, now who then catch 90?
Yes. Even the law says anyone caught. Yes. The law doesn't say everyone caught.
So I feel the press and media should just help us with giving us the back end of the story, because every time we hear that there's speculation that somebody has done this, but we don't get to hear how it ends. I was particularly happy when I heard about the sentence to death by hanging. That police officer. It took a while, you know. Some of us would have felt, hey, that case has
we're not hearing anything about it.
So about a year ago, December.
December,
it happened in December. December 25th.
But we didn't hear anything again until now.
But the processes will go. Yes, we know that the wheel of justice in this country grinds slowly. We all know that. But where the people are actively looking forward to gaining closure, we see that the police are on their oars. Every part of those who are involved, talking about the police, the courts, they ensure that justice is seen to be done at the end of the day. If we follow through and if we are patient enough to see justice being done. That's one thing I have known, but it may grind slowly.
Or can we assume that it's because that was a murder case? All these issues of fraud.
So this fraud case,
can we see the end of some of those that we've taken before?
Yes, so this article actually says that there are 3 people. Adewale Adeninloye was also sentenced to 96 months imprisonment and was ordered to pay over $1 million in restitution. Another Pelumi Faweyimi, a bank account facilitator, was also jailed in 2019 for 72 months and was ordered to pay $1 million above in restitution. There's another Onome Ijomene, a romance scammer, sentenced to jail in January 2020. So we see that there are people that...
Is we need to address the root cause. So we are just dealing with symptoms. If we say, okay, what have been done, who are those? Even this matter of capital punishment, talking about death sentence, has it really curbed this matter of murder or any other crime that we have seen in the society? It's about, yes, it's supposed to serve as a deterrent. But then we should also look at the root causes of some of these issues. We know that humans can be funny. But then we should also address
discipline. The art of man.
Anyway, I have a story here that I would like to just quickly touch on, which has to do with a report saying that 1 in 7 Nigerians have chronic kidney disease. One in every 7 Nigerians. And this is special report, so to speak, because a lot of persons have decided to focus on agbo, herbal alternatives, and all of those as against going on with orthodox medicine, so to speak. They decided to go the way herbal medicine. Now, some of them will tell you, okay, because of out-of-pocket treatment is expensive, they grab these herbal medicines which are sold indiscriminately. And then those who sell are saying that, well, it is not our fault. These people patronize us. So, and you can't stop them. Now, the challenge with, it's not that herbal medicine is not potent. The issue is measurement in terms of dosage. How do you administer
what is right,
them?
what is not?
What is not? How do you determine what you are treating?
Yes.
Right? So it is quite disheartening to see that we are witnessing a lot of persons facing chronic kidney diseases as we speak. So it's important that we begin to look into health insurance. Capturing a lot of persons into the net so that they can, the insurance organizations can even relieve people of this payment. When people pay out of pocket, it becomes difficult. A society where a lot of persons are dealing with health issues.
Veronica, did the article talk about signs so that people can get themselves checked? Is there anything about
Yes, there are signs. Basically, they will tell you once you feel a certain way, you should go check yourself. Bottom line, go check yourself. In fact, some persons do not do checkup. So go check yourselves once you are feeling pain. You always feel pain or discomfort at a particular side of your abdominal area. Go and check what is going on. Some persons is because they took overdose of certain medication because they feel that they're having malaria or they're having a headache. Not going to check, thinking over-the-counter treatment will just address it as against doing the full checkup. But we need to go on a break. When we return, we'll continue looking through the newspaper headlines. Stay with us.
Ikechukwu, Sunday, Okonkwo, a.k.a. Cross. Now your intro without
Wow.
So there's a name that thing that's...
I'm just drinking because you say I should drink. There's no particular answer.
You think it's only that can be wicked?
What's the answer?
Subterfuge.
Eh?
Yeah. They claim you did, but you said it just happened. That
And it's called what again?
Subterfuge.
Such a fuge.
Subterfuge.
So you look me finish from head to toe. You look at a person who going to know what to become such. Yeah?
The nude wasn't like a game plan. Or...
I promise you, it was actually a mistake. It was sending it to someone, and it just mistakenly just went that.
Yeah.
Doubt and fear doesn't occur at the canvas, it shows in the canvas. It shows the conation of raw earthen material slabbed, stroked and molded at a pace provided by the doubt and fear. Every move way in the struggle of one to the other, merging the past to the present, brushstrokes of colors seen but not known. For when the wailing stops, the pieces settle down in abject beauty erected for a century of a century. Speaking, advocating, protesting as the arts are meant to be.
So, have you ever wondered what happens behind the curtains of a man's mind? Or perhaps you're one of those who wonder what men talk about when they gather. Well, here goes. Imagine what it takes to put together the perfect cocktail. Or maybe mocktail. We need a bit of sports, a sprinkling of current affairs, some very deep topics.
All right, thank you for staying with us. We're still looking through the newspaper headlines, and this time around, we are moving to the Punch newspaper. The major story here, IMF, that's the International Monetary Fund, proposes more taxes higher interest rates after subsidy removal. Says loan servicing obligation too high, insists no debt restructuring talks. Looking inward for funding, foreign loans becoming scarce, costly fund tells Nigeria. And then a story here, a sad one, why I poured hot oil on my husband. Rivers woman is saying this, and BB Niger hyped show opening diverse doors, attracting controversies, morality question. Oil production now 1.7 million barrels daily. Mobad, Naira Marley, Prime Boy, artist to appear before Corona, October the 26th. And at the top corner, survivors recount near-death experiences. Lagos tanker explosion raised 11 vehicles. Another story here, enroll your children in schools or go to jail. Senate is passing a bill on this. Who has what story?
I have that story. Enroll your children in schools or go to jail. So the Senate yesterday passed for first reading a bill that recommends a fine of 50,000 naira to parents who default in providing their children with primary and secondary school education. The Red Chamber also recommended free meals for every child in the country. This bill was proposed by Senator Orji Kalu, who titled it Compulsory Free Universal Basic Education Act. So I think it was first introduced in 2002 with a fine of about 5,000 naira or imprisonment for a term or two, or both of the sanctions. But there are indications that it has been raised from a 5,000 naira to a 50,000 naira because it says a person who receives or obtains any fee contrary to the provision of this subsection commits an offense and is liable. So there's a sanction for those who collect the fees from the parents and do not remit, and the parents are not punished. And there's also a sanction for parents who sit at home idly by and just allow their children sit down. And now I'm wondering what the implementation would look like, because I know they like to pass bills. Sometimes they are enforced, sometimes they're just there. This particular one, I have never heard of any parent who had to pay, even if it's as low as a 5,000, for refusing to let their children go to school. Now it's compulsory, and we hope it is enforced.
That's the major issue for. We have policies, very good one on paper, but enforcement is always the challenge. And some parents will tell you, I don't even have that 5,000. If I do, I will send my child to school. So with it, or do something for my child with that money. But I hope that this will begin to change.
But another angle that this article has brought out is they want to see how to checkmate how much the public schools will be willing to add. So it's now subject to states.
Okay.
So some states might say 5,000, we now plus 10,000, we are going to do this. So as much as possible, Senator Ojikalu is saying, let us get to the grassroots and ensure that these people see reasons, not just the fine, but if we have to use the fine to get them to put their children in school.
What are the state of these schools that we want to send them to? That's another thing.
That's another thing.
There are so many things to unpack in that
but what about parents who do not even mind? I mean, if it's free, why put your child at home?
So I have this Davido story. So Davido celebrates the arrival. Sorry, we are celebrating the arrival of Davido's twins. And so there's been rumors going on during the week, but it has now been confirmed that the pop star David Adeleke, popularly known as Davido, and his wife Chioma are now proud parents of a set of twins. And so this happened during the week, and so we saw videos going viral yesterday, and we all were just so joyful about the news of the birth of, the twins. And so this happened in the United States of America, where the couple was seen holding their newborn twins, and they were driven in a Bentley home, and it was such a beautiful experience. And so same yesterday, Wizkid also buried his mom. So it was a mix of emotions for fans across, that are both fans of Davido and Wizkid. So he buried his mom yesterday. And so one of the things he said was that this is like the deepest pain he had ever felt in his life. That is Wizkid now. And so we're just sending our condolences also to his family and for strength to go through this season also. And then for the new parents, we rejoice with them.
I mean, after the incident that they had with their first baby, their first son, Ifeanyi, who passed last year. So it's a good thing that there's some consolation.
Yes, sir.
Double for the trouble they went through at the time. So congratulations to them. But then again, there was a concern from the father of the baby, talking about Davido, about people posting the video. He was talking about cloud chasing and all of those. And I'm wondering, it's a good thing, right? The video was out there and someone reposted. Why is it a problem? But then if he wanted to keep it hush-hush, well, the video shouldn't have gone out in the first place. Who posted it should be the person he should look for, not the person who reposted, who claims he reposted the video. But then there's this story about a woman who poured hot oil on her husband because he made some money, and it was his friend that came to tell her about the monies he made, and he kept it hush-hush. And it's as if he had plans with that money and he wasn't involving her. And so she decided to pour hot oil, hot groundnut oil, on her husband, your husband.
I like the way you're emphasizing the husband.
I want this to be a hot topic. Because I tell you,
it's sad because there was another story of someone else who poured hot oil on her husband asleep, while he was asleep.
So what's up with this oil saga?
So this one, although she has been accused of extramarital affairs, I know she said no. But after she did it, she was trying to run away because she realized the magnitude of what she had done.
And she was caught.
Why as you are carrying it, your conscience did not tell you.
Actually, I even putting it on the fire first. I mean, you know.
You see why I said you underrate sound mind.
Yes,
you underrate it.
Word.
Anyway, let's go to Tribune now. Let me not talk too much. Saturday Tribune, the major story here. Naira strengthens first time in 3 weeks. IMF asks federal government to increase tax revenue. Nigeria buys petrol abroad with cash. Now, tanker explosions suspend use of naked fire for now, NEMA tells Lagos community. Muslims rally in Ibadan as Israel orders 1 million Palestinians out of Gaza. UN, Egypt, Red Cross kick against quit order. US asks Israel to protect civilians. Mobat, Corona orders police to produce Naira Marley, Sam Larry, prime boy. In court, federal government raises over 652 billion naira in 6th sukuk. A woman tells Ibadan court, my husband would get drunk, then demand for sex. I have changed. And husband pleads. Right. Now, Kano government conducts wedding for 3,600 persons. Who has what story?
So I have the tanker explosion story. And then Nima tells Lagos community to suspend, I say Nima, Nima on my mind, to suspend the use of naked fire for now. And so the National Agency of Management Agency has urged residents of Ijora community in Lagos, where a tanker exploded on Thursday night, to suspend the use of naked fire for now, because this can be a cause of explosions, especially when we don't know what is in the air. So if there are gas emissions around, the use of naked fire can now escalate it. And so on Thursday, 11 vehicles, including 2 tankers, 3 cars, a trailer, 2 mini buses, were destroyed in the explosion that occurred at the Gomu area of Lagos State. We saw pictures, we saw videos, and it was just all shades of really sad. It was, and could it have been avoided?
The big question.
Do you see? So that's why NEMA is saying that we should please suspend the use of naked fire for now.
What story do you have here?
No.
None. Okay, so let me quickly take this story before we wrap things up. Kano government conducts wedding for 3,600 persons and is saying it is to guard against illicit affairs. Illicit affairs.
3,600 students.
So it's a mass wedding that
Male,
was
female.
conducted, yes, for both male and female. And it's about addressing matters of illicit affairs. That's
Students,
why.
you said?
No, persons.
Persons, okay.
of certain age, you have to be matured enough. They had done tests. We had mentioned weeks ago how they went to do hepatitis and all of those tests.
So
that
a lot of them failed.
And some of them failed, but then it's 3,600 of them passed that hurdle, and now they have been wedded. And the major reason is to address matters of illicit affairs. And I'm wondering if, weddings and all these ceremonies have actually addressed matters of illicit affairs. But it's a good one.
It's a good one.
That the government is taking this major step on behalf of the people who do not have the means to conduct this wedding. But does it really address the matter of illicit affairs?
And is it from tax? They are paying. They are
I didn't know.
So it's a mass wedding now. So
it will cost some money.
Of course, it will. It will cost money now. So is it the people's tax?
Taxpayers'
Ask
money.
the government. They are listening. Anyway, this is where we will wrap things up with the papers review this morning. And we'll go on a short break. When we return, we'll move to our hot topic. Stay with us. We'll be right back.
Stay tuned. Your view.
Ladies and gentlemen, the one who can make time stand still forever, Mr. Kelechi Amadi. How are you doing, sir?
I'm good, my brother.
You love that intro, Abi?
Yeah. It was great.
Okay.
Thank you.
We try like that.
Thank you.
Now my question, which I feel is a cheap question.
Oh, go ahead.
What does ISO stand for?
That is it. I think I'll drink.
No, you're joking.
I'm not joking.
Kelechi Amadi. No. Shay, you didn't whine me. You're whining me now.
I think I'll drink.
Huh?
No problem.
Okay.
I've always known this as ISO. I never bothered to know what it means. I know what it means, but I never bothered to know what the acronym is. Tell me the brand of camera that I use, so much so that I even became an ambassador. That's very easy. It's out there.
It's supposed to be, yeah.
I just said, let me give you this one as a token of my appreciation.
Sony.
Drink!
I'm not done. You did not say final answer.
It's final answer.
You did not ask me if that was my final
You
answer.
don't have any choice again. It's only
Nikon.
how many cameras do they have? My
Nikon.
friend to drink. I gave you a very easy something.
Nikon now. Ikechukwu Sunday Okonkwo, aka Cross. Now your intro without
Wow.
So there's a name that's.
I'm just drinking because you say I should drink. There's no particular answer.
You think it's only that can be wicked?
What's the answer?
Subterfuge.
Eh?
Yeah, they claim you did, but you said it just happened. That
And it's called what again?
subterfuge.
Such a fuge.
SUBTERFUGE.
So you look me finish from head to toe. You look at a person who go know what to become such. Yeah?
The nude wasn't like a game plan. Or
I promise you,
Bec-
it was
bec-
actually a mistake.
bec-
Like it
because-
was sending it to someone, and it just mistakenly just.
yeah.
All right, thank you for staying with us. Now, conflict can happen when family members have different views or beliefs that clash. Sometimes conflict can occur when people misunderstand each other and jump to the wrong conclusion. The question is, how can we handle different personalities clashing and disagreements over ways of doing things? What are your thoughts? Please join the conversation and call us on 081 0764 1679 or 090 241 63440. Or you can tweet to us at TVC Connect using the hashtag YourViewTvc. Ladies, what are your thoughts on this matter of conflict? I know Toby is begging God. Don't worry. I just want to quickly share an experience. I recall when I just got married. While my husband and I were in a relationship before we even got married. So he is this type of person that is, when it comes to money, he will tell you, okay, made this, I got this, I made this amount of money. So he will break it down. He's very transparent with money. So he came to me, I was like, it's your money. Why are you telling me? Why are you telling me about all of this, right? It didn't make sense to me because you made your money, right? So whatever you want to do with it. So he also tell me, this is what I did with the money. In my head, it was like, okay, why are you telling me? Me, I'm used to, okay, my own thing. I'm doing this, I'm doing that. I don't need to carry you along, whatever it is, when it comes to finances. But over time, I began to understand, this is how he runs his own thing. But then it was a challenge for me at the beginning to say, okay, this is amount I made, and then this is what I'm doing with the money. And you know how we can be women with money. It's my money, your money is our money.
Yes, so,
and all of that. But he made it easy over time that, okay, we can be transparent with money and it is not going to be an issue in the marriage. But then it took a while for me to get into that space. There were clashes, so where I would buy things, where is this one from? And I'm like, I bought it now. This matter of this, my money, I bought it. But over time, I began to understand the essence of why he was talking about, or why he was looking in this space of transparency with money and spending, so we could actually we hold each other accountable for how we manage our resources at the end of the day. And it worked well for me, and it's still working well for me. Praise the Lord.
Hallelujah. Hallelujah. Wow. Okay, so I hope my husband's not watching.
We'll send in the link for replay.
Okay, so we struggled so much initially. This conflict matter. We struggled so much because we had very, very extreme personality types. So I am the soft introvert, and my husband is the super extrovert. So the first thing that was bringing all the clashes for us was issue of friends. So I believe, hey, one or two, just fine. I mean, I don't want, my matter will no longer be private if I have to share it with everybody. So why are you bringing everybody into our matter? What's going on? When we have some money and we feel we're trying to keep this money for this, my husband will tell me, Ronke, you know Dotun now? Dotun's car broke down. Somewhere in Lagos.
It's such a caring person.
Today is Dotun. Tomorrow you say, guess what? I will just come, And then this guy called me, went to 724. I'm like, oh my God, which other name would I not hear? And I was wondering, maybe he saw when we're dating, when we're in a relationship that, okay, my wife likes to take things a bit slow. She came from the north. She has this northern background. I cannot bring everything to her white.
Yeah.
So by the time we got married, I saw everything white. I'm like, hey. What's going on here? Where is this one from? And say, I mentioned his name to you now. This guy told him. So it was a major concern for us. There were people that would just come and you feel, okay, yeah, thank you. You've had dinner. And he says, oh no, he's staying over. I'm like, he's staying where? In this house?
Tell me.
But it wasn't an issue for him because my husband grew up from a polygamous home and they always had people come in. I mean, he would tell me, this person stayed for 2 weeks, this person stayed for this. But in my house, it is a case of, you're going this way, let's know what you're doing. So we had those issues and we struggled a lot. I guess both of us had to adjust, particularly me. I just had to respect the fact that if you want to kill this guy, ask him to be like you. He can never be an introvert. I was not looking for how to make him less extrovertish. I tried to understand, and then I tried to get us to face consequences sometimes So next time we would adjust. Okay, let's do it this way, and then when we see the result, we'll get
adjustment.
To adjust.
I like that word.
So we had to adjust.
Because if you want to keep your relationship, your marriage, even the peace within your family, if you are talking about siblings now, it's important to adjust.
We had to adjust.
But how do you adjust is another issue. But let's hear you, Toby.
I think that handling conflict or conflict itself is a natural occurrence in any relationship on earth. If you are a human, you would face, in fact, animals face conflicts because you see two animals fighting. Yeah. Right? So it is a natural occurrence for living organisms, right? Now, the issue is how you're able to handle it.
Manage it.
Right? Because, and in handling it, I think that there are personality differences. For some people, you are able to easily communicate the way that you feel. I don't like what you did, Veronica. Please.
Really?
Right? Yeah. I'm just giving an instance. But some people, they hold on to it, and then it becomes like a major issue. They're not speaking about it, and I see that play out also in marriages, where it is that somebody is the outspoken one, and that person is as you're giving me, I'm giving you back. I don't like, guy, don't try it. And the other person is receiving it, and the person is just keeping quiet. Okay, I'm sorry. And you're even upset again about the person saying sorry, because you're like, what are you sorry about? You're not even explaining. So I think that when we're able to understand that personalities differ, we'll be able to undo conflict within the home. And I think that sometimes we take...
you have a caller.
Okay, let's continue.
Yes, we have Barrister Ademo on the line. Good morning. Go ahead with your contribution.
Good morning, beautiful ladies.
Morning.
This is a very interesting topic.
Yeah.
There are three major causes of marital or relationship conflict. Talk about the finance, talk about spiritual issues.
Can you speak up, please? We can't really hear you clearly.
Okay, hello, are you hearing me now?
Yes, it's better.
Yes. So there are three major causes of marital issues. We talk about the family, talk about finances, and talk about sexual compatibilities and what have you. Now, on the issue of finances, also, transparency in finances is very key in marriage.
Absolutely.
As a matter of fact, if you are open to each other, the woman will not bring unnecessary billing. I've been married for 13 years now. So, and as a matter of fact, I can tell you there is financial transparency. If I have any money I have, my wife knows about it. As a matter of fact, we have joint account. So if when couples need to get matured to the extent that once they get their financial transparency right to each other, they will absorb themselves of unnecessary pressure. Most of the challenges in marriages regarding finances are avoidable. They are avoidable. It's just that we have these natural African settings of yes, the woman must not know what the husband has, and all those kind of things. That African setting, and I think it's really breaking a lot of homes.
Yes.
Why will you be as a man? Why will you as a man your wife does not know your finances? Why will you as a woman your husband does not know your finances? Then where lies the issue of trust? Because trust goes beyond you're having another affair. No, there must also be financial trust. Thank you very much. That's my contribution.
Thank you, Barrister Ademo. Thank you very much. Now, you had a line of thought earlier.
So, and I also do think that a lot of people try to excuse their bad behavior and blame it on personality. So this is how I am. This is the way I respond when somebody gets me upset. But we see that if we're able to manage that properly, if we're able to understand, because the essence of knowing your personality is to get better at what it is that you're doing. But a lot of people handle conflicts by saying, I'll give it to you hot, right? And not really process it. And for people that hold on to things, they don't also know that it is beneficial to speak out. But they'll blame it on their personality as because I keep quiet, I'm not able to speak out. And I think that I like the concept of Christianity that would say that in marriage you're able to see yourselves as one, right? You're not two separate individuals trying to walk through life.
Or competing against each other.
Do you see that competition again is a major issue, competing against each other, such that when you get an income, you're holding it to yourself and say, my wife must not know about this. Because like the caller rightly said, when the person knows what you're earning, it avoids unnecessary billings. The wife already knows that, yes, it's 500K that comes in to this guy's pocket every month. And I know some instances where it is even the man that would now send the money to the wife. However it is that you want to spend it, just give me transportation, right? Give me something that I know that is okay for me. And so that way, you're not able to bill him unnecessarily or complain and all that. So I think that there are many factors to put in place or to consider when we discuss conflict as a concept.
Veronica, can I disagree a little?
Please go ahead. That's the essence of the conversation.
Yeah, because I think what Toby just said is what it should be. But is that what it is in standard practice, as in real life situations? Because so many people have concerns with discipline. I like what the caller said, but I'm not sure it's practicable in every home. Not because there's a better party. Or you fell in love with someone, you want to spend the rest of your life with that person, you're not judging the person's past, but you also need to respect the person's level of discipline. We do not come into the same position with an equal amount of discipline. And sometimes, so many women are hurting today because they judge their partners based on their level of discipline, which probably did not work out. So what do I mean? I like what he said about a joint account, and I know that it works for some people. But there are others. There are some other people who do not have the discipline to maintain it. They just rob the other party of his, take advantage of the fact that that person seems naive, or the person is too trusting, or the person loves. So I feel we should deal with our partners according to knowledge and not just principle.
Oh, we'll get to that. Rose is calling from Kaduna. Rose, good morning. Go ahead with your contribution.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Well, I really love your program all the time. So it was a very positive to achieve the number when I was listening to the program. So I was very interested about the program because the program really, you people are really bright.
Thank you.
But I like today, the men always feel everything they are doing. They own everything. So for you ladies, they always take you as nothing. They don't value women at all. Seriously, you people are doing a good job. I really appreciate the attitude. I just shouldn't tell and say hi.
All right. Thank you so much, Ruth, even though I couldn't really hear some of the things she said.
Okay, so she said she thinks we're doing a good job, that she appreciates the advice that comes from the show, and she just called to say hi, to say thank you.
Okay, thank you, Ruth. This matter of dealing with our partners according to knowledge, that's the last statement you made. That struck me, it struck a chord with me. How many people take time to understand their partners?
So
most people do not take time to understand, study your partner, to know how to deal with them. I'm not saying dealing with them by punishing them, to know how to relate with them. And then the question of why are you in this relationship also matters. Why are you in this marriage? What enticed you or what endeared you to this person in the first place that you decide I'd want to walk with this person for the rest of my life? That's with regards to marriage. Or I'd like to be with this person and we'll move on till the end of our lives, so to speak. So we're talking about relationship, partnership, and all. And then if you're in a family, what are the goals, or what's the family about? What's the family about? So the essence of the family, what is it about? If we have defined narratives around our relationships, our families, I think we'll understand what we are doing together with our partners. Now, let me share an experience. I used to be angry that my husband was not doing certain things, because until one day the Lord opened my eyes. Now, this is speaking spiritually now, to understand who I am in the marriage, the role I am to play in that marriage. And once I understood that this is my role, beyond the fact that I'm his wife, but this is my role spiritually, this is why he put me in this marriage as joined me together with my husband, it settled a lot of things for me because I had a knowledge of who I am, my role, the role I came to play in the life of the man I got married to. And so I didn't bother myself getting angry with a lot of things. It settled a whole lot for me in my mind. Knowledge is important.
Knowledge is important.
Be it spiritual, physical, whatever it is, knowledge is important. Understand your spouse if you are married. So you know, okay, this person does this thing and it brings friction, conflict. I don't like that for our marriage because I know the purpose why we came together as one, right? So if this friction, this thing keeps happening, are you even willing to have a conversation with this person to say, let's sit down and talk things through? Some people do 6 months appraisal of their marriage or their relationship. Are you appraising yourselves? What is going on? No, it's true. People just think that, we should just come together and life goes on. Whatever you do, I don't care. I know. No. But I think it's high time we begin to have conversations around and appraising ourselves. How are you relating with me? How am I relating with you? What don't you like that I'm doing? Can you stomach it? If I know that I tell you something and you don't react immediately, it takes a while. So I start looking at how do I communicate to you so that you do not get offended. So that you can begin to speak with me openly. Are you friends with your spouse? Or you just got married because society demanded we should get married and I am doing this? These are the issues that point you in the direction of knowledge. Let's quickly take this call. Bright, calling from Ago. Bright, good morning. Welcome to the show.
Yeah, good morning. Good morning, everyone.
Morning.
Holding at my end for a while now. Okay, the topic on ground, relationship, marriage, and family. I love the topic on ground, but looking at it, what I see is I see that there's something that holds the three factors: the relationship, the marriage, and the family, and which is love. Which is love. Once love is breached, things go wrong. Things will eventually go wrong. When there's a breach in love, things will go wrong. And the one thing about life is this: you can't take away conflict from life.
Right.
You're bound to face conflict.
But if I may ask you, what is love? Because people will tell you love is relative. The definition for love is relative.
Okay. Love. I like to go biblically now. Love is God. Love is God. And the reason why we get it all wrong concerning love is because we fail to understand what love is. And that is why, I guess, was it last week, I called in as well, and I think we talked about love as well. And the people get it all wrong with love. They do things, they say, I did it because of love. No. People don't do things because of love. People choose to use love to do the things they do. Because they fail to understand what love is all about. Love will not hurt. Love will not lie. Love will not want to bring harm to you. That is love for you. So when people understand love, they will know what to do. Now the reason why there's conflict and mismanagement in conflict is because they are afraid to understand what love is all about.
And is love enough?
If I really have the knowledge and I have the awareness of what love is, love should be enough. Because love is God. Is God not enough for me? Because the problem is love. People don't understand what love is all about. That's the problem. Love. Most people, their love is limited. There are certain things that will creep into them and it will bring about a breach to their love. So they don't understand the depth of love. There's this depth about love. People don't understand the meaning of love. So they just use the word anyhow and they want to use it to what they want to get and go away with it. So they fail to understand what love is all about. I tell you, if I really know what love is, there are certain things I will never do, no matter what the situation is demanding me to do. So the issue is this, the love. If we can get it all right concerning love, I tell you, life is sweet. Life is sweet.
Yeah. Thank you so much, Bright. For the benefit of, we have a mixed audience, so his perspective is the perspective of the Bible.
Yeah.
When it comes to love.
Yeah.
So some other persons will not see it in that light. So we must also try to balance this conversation as much as possible. Yes.
All right. So, Veronica, I want to deal with handling conflicts in the marriage. So I'm moving from, I agree with the last caller, conflicts occur even among friends, siblings, but I want to attend to how to handle conflicts when they happen, relationship, marriage. So for me, I want to task everyone or challenge everyone to understand themselves. I'm talking about through emotional intelligence, and keep them away from the spouses a bit so that they can understand themselves and understand also how to regulate themselves. If you can regulate yourself, you would probably not expose yourself to, look at what you said about somebody pouring hot oil. I mean, if there was self-regulation, it wouldn't have reached the point of having to pour hot oil because nobody is denying the fact that she must have been hot. Is there a call?
Yes, there's a call. And we have Adamu calling from Ikeja. Adamu, good morning. Go ahead with your contribution.
Good morning, Samuel.
All right, go ahead.
Yeah, I've been, watching your list. I'm first-time caller, and I've been listening, watching your program as well. Please, you think something now that about relationship which is based on love. When you are the man, you are trying to my wife. This is I don't ask you to do much in the house. All I just want you to do, because my wife happens to be a teacher, and just pay attention to the children. Let the children go through the educational process. But sometimes you wake up in the morning, do all the necessary things. I won't deny the fact that take care of the house, take care of the room, take care of the children. But the main thing which I needed most, which is most important to me, she's not doing it. I am an outer man.
What is the most important thing you want her to do?
The thing is just the educational aspect of life. That's what I want you to do for my children. I'm not saying, see, there was a time I sat her down and I think that because you said something and that was what made me to fall down. You said sometimes is when your spouse do something to you, you understand, you need to sit them down, talk to them, you understand. So that will make them, it will be a foundation of friendship and love, you understand. Then now, I want a situation whereby, I said, I sat down and I said, I don't want you to even give me food again in this house. But all I just want to do, attend to them, let them read. I've been to the office now. So now I'll go to office from Monday to Saturday, no cases. Then coming back, I will still give the one, kind of take your book, read, do this, do that. I came back around to tell yesterday, and I'll still be the one that okay, read this and that. It's not working. So what do you expect me to do?
So do you help her? Do you help her with other chores in the house so she can focus on this children? Does she have a help?
I need to say this for her. Sometimes I watch her laundry. You don't understand. Because I was born and brought up in Lagos, I have this kind of ideology of Yoruba and Igbo, you understand me? So I believe my wife is my partner, she's a friend. Yes, if I watch, if I do anything for her, I believe I'm being for a friend. We've been a good time, but the only thing I needed most is that education. That's all.
That conversation you had with her, did you ask her what challenge she's facing, why it is that she's not narrowing down to this matter that you really want her to address?
You said what? Again.
When you had the conversation with her, what did she say the challenge was with just focusing on educating your children?
This is not the first time. This is not the first time. This is not the second time I've been asking for this. In fact, at the point I knelt down.
What did she say? When you had the conversation with her, what is she saying?
She said she will adjust. She will adjust. She will adjust.
All right. She's saying she will adjust. She will adjust. Does he understand what challenges she's having with adjusting, even promising to adjust? These are critical questions that should be asked. Yes, to be honest.
Yes, I think that while people are dating, whatever it is that endeared you to this person, when you get married, you are going to see that in times 1 billion. So if you are dating somebody that doesn't like stress, when you get married, she's not going to all of a sudden become hardworking. she's going to be she will want the soft life times 1 billion, like in a greater degree. So sometimes when we see that, you know, because sometimes also when someone says that, she's so quiet, I like somebody that is not like me, she's very, you know, reserved. When you get married, because you are outspoken, you don't expect that she would now become outspoken. She will still be herself, and now she's even in a more, my parents, I don't have anybody putting pressure on me. She's going to be more reserved. So I think that it is important to understand where she's coming from, right? Because that will give you a proper context to what it is that she's currently experiencing now. And from the conversation, I'm maybe thinking that maybe she's stressed, right?
That's why I asked
which is why you asked the question.
Is there some support you are giving her? Is there a help?
No.
So for me, what is the issue?
No, Veronica, my own question is, does she have the capacity
to teach them?
So if we had it,
he said she's a teacher.
Oh, she is a teacher.
That's what he said.
Oh, so if she has the capacity to teach and she's not teaching, then it might be what you said. Maybe she's overwhelmed. But that's why I said earlier that everybody needs to adjust, because taste and preference used to change with time. It changes as people get older. So there are some things that Toby could have liked when she was maybe 10 years younger that she doesn't want to see now. And that's something that I feel brings conflict in the marriage, because this partner that you felt, okay, she's a teacher, she should do this. So with time, those things get to change. Maybe she's even tired from teaching. Maybe her interest
during the day.
Her interest now is fashion.
That is why I feel that couples should sit. That's for those who have an assessment of, you know, how it is, how you're evolving, and how perhaps this is bringing friction between you both.
The man mentioned that he knelt down. No, they said he knelt down to beg her. Did you hear?
And she promised to change.
And she promised to change. She promised to adjust.
Yes.
So what is the issue? It's obvious that maybe she's not voicing what really the issues are. So perhaps if he can bring in someone whom she trusts enough to speak with. There are those who may not be able to open up to their husband. He said he's a Hausa man, but then he has an idea of how people run their families, the Yorubas, the Igbos, and he brought that into his home. But maybe she's from the core northern home where you can't look up in terms of, you have some reverence for your husband. And so she may have that also working. And then maybe there are people she can speak with. And so if he can find someone that she can confidently speak with, confide in, to say, okay, these are my challenges, and they can trust this person to perhaps wade in. I am thinking that might be a solution.
Yeah, that will help. So saying it repeatedly, how? You know, there's so many people.
So if you knew and you are talking to your spouse, will you be forcing them to say, you must do this thing, you must do this thing?
If you kneel after shouting, abusing, and all of this, and the kneeling is, I'm apologizing, and I'm still saying the same thing.
We have a caller on the line. Afolabi calling from Songo. Afolabi, good morning. Go ahead with your contribution.
Good morning. Everybody in the house.
Good morning.
I'm enjoying your program once again.
Thank you.
You see, you see the issue of the last caller. Accommodating by the man, accommodating. The man must be able to accommodate, because marriage and relationship goes in stages. That is where experience comes in. The first stage, you will observe a lot of things. After some time, you discover and you maneuver. As I am speaking to you, I am about 45 years in relationship and about 42 years in marriage.
Oh.
You see? So, as time goes on, if you are accommodating, you'll be correcting your partner, because the having a good home depends on the man. It is the man that have good relationship to the wife. It is the man that will provide economic pointers for which the home will rest upon. Sincerity is another thing for both of them. It is not for only women to have sincerity, to be sincere. The man also has to be sincere. If you are working, you are earning 100 naira. You must be able to tell your wife that my earning is 100 naira. The earning of the woman sometimes does not even important for the man to know. I mean, if a woman is working, yes, she can tell you that she's earning so, but the main thing, the main earning or to finance the home is the man. When the man has it at the back of his mind, he will not have the mind to go outside to be going for other things that are not profitable for the home. He will have rest. He will make the wife the good friend as his partner. If he goes at work, he will come back home straight and be with his wife and the children.
Okay.
Then another thing that has to be taken cognizance: if marriage have not started producing children, they will be having some kind of little problems. Sometimes when you have children, and your children start to grow for say 4-5 years, you will be able to have third party within you for which you can settle matters.
All right.
So it goes.
Yes, we must thank you so much for your words of wisdom. Our time is running out, and we want to quickly maximize what we have left to tie up this conversation. Yes, you wanted to say something?
So I think that as couples, it's important to understand your spouse's weakness, and I think that it is important to outsource your weakness when you see a weakness in your spouse. So for instance now, your wife doesn't know how to do some things, rather than keep complaining about it, right?
If you can do it.
Or outsource it. There's no prize for best wife in washing plates, best wife in sweeping. I mean, do you see? So in this kind of instance, for instance, your wife, yes, she's a teacher, but she's unable to do that for the children. Is it possible to get somebody to get this done for the home? Do you see, for the children, for your own peace of mind, for your own joy at the end of the day.
And maybe he's also considering the financial
implications. But she's not doing it, and we see that it is a problem.
But they can't accommodate that financially. What happens? That's another consideration.
Maybe that's a very sensitive one.
Yes, it is. It is.
You know, he married. He said he understands that finances, the bulk of finances, should be done by the man. So he chose to marry someone that can take care of the home. For men that are domesticated, that would always be an issue. There are some men that come to schools to report their wives as if the school should go and take the wife to court or something. So we can't blame him.
Domesticated, but is that the entirety of
we need to tie
a woman?
up this conversation. Okay. And one key thing is this: you need to understand yourself, your role in that home, why you got married in the first place when it comes to marriage, and then understand your spouse, get a knowledge of who your spouse is so that you know how to relate with them. You know their weaknesses and strengths so that you can manage conflict in the home. There's so much going on in the world that you need to put yourself in a space, in a sane space. So if you know that this is how I can manage things around my home, around my family, do what is needful and necessary to have that sanity. This is where we'll draw the curtains on this particular conversation. We are still here. We still have more conversations on the show this morning. We'll take a break now. When we return, we'll be looking at another issue. Stay with us.
So, have you ever wondered what happens behind the curtains of a man's mind? Or perhaps you're one of those who wonder what men talk about when they gather. Well, here goes. Imagine what it takes to put together the perfect cocktail. Or maybe mocktail. We need a bit of sports, a sprinkling of current affairs, some very deep topical issues, and last but not the least, a healthy dose of grumbling of those we love to hate. And yes, you guessed it, women. So, if you catch the drift, then you're onto something. We will provide you with the right insights into most of your curiosities right here within this beautiful cocktail we call the Black Table. So, have you ever wondered what happens behind the curtains of a man's mind? Or perhaps you're one of those who wonder what men talk about when they gather. Well,
All right, thank you for staying with us. Joining us on the show is a distinguished entrepreneur who has become a formidable presence in the real estate sector, boasting a wealth of experience spanning over 2 decades and involvement in numerous high-profile projects worldwide. With a strong background in structural and geotechnical engineering, Ayo Lariwaju Jekuyebi joins us this morning on the show. Welcome. Good morning.
Good morning. Thank you so much. I'm excited to be here, actually.
Right.
Yes.
It's good to have you because a lot of us want to learn when it comes to this matter of real estate. We know that it is one venture that has become lucrative in recent years. And you have been there for 2 decades. You have carved a niche for yourself. How were you able to achieve this?
Okay, basically, as a young professional, first thing first for me is experience. And how am I able to...
all right, if you could just hold the thoughts. I hear we need to quickly go on the break.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the show, La General, the one and only Pere Egbe. Which of the following is false about teeth? We are born with 20 primary teeth. Teeth are the hardest substance in the body. Teeth are the strongest bones in the body.
Teeth is not a bone, actually.
Teeth can self-repair.
The strongest bone in the body, no. Teeth is not a bone.
Final answer?
Teeth is not a bone. You know what came to my head now? That sound. Crickets.
So, editor, you can put that cricket sound there. You can still put it down too.
When was the first Gulda ultimate search? Editor?
Don't put any cricket sound. I'm talking. Okay, Pere. How many times has Ghana qualified for the World Cup?
5 times. Hey, you can't do that now.
That's what it is.
Wait. Calm down. Why are you like this?
This is your team.
Small play now.
They will not
Somebody cannot play with you again.
They will not be impressed though. The team that you're supporting. And
Ghana will be alright.
Yeah, that's last.
Charlie? Cheers, Charlie.
Ladies and gentlemen, Made Kuti in the view. It's still 7 of 7, and we've been doing a whole lot of protesting. The only thing that remains is just to carry placard.
It's about 5 of 7, to be honest. Because, ask your question. I have so much to speak about once we finish.
We will not give you the time because it's 7 of 7.
I will make the time now. He said he will not ask questions about science.
No.
Neuroplasticity.
And based on
he asked a question that was subjective about high life, and he did not finalize his answer about.
All right, thank you for staying with us. We do apologize for, just going on a break all of a sudden in the middle of a conversation we were having with our guest, Ayolarinwaju Kuyebi, who is a distinguished entrepreneur in the real estate sector. And before we went on that break, you were telling us how you were able to carve a niche for yourself in this 2 decades that you've been in that sector. So go ahead.
So actually, it's by actually placing premium on experience.
Right.
And as you know, there is a popular saying that the level of your training will determine the level of your reigning. So in 2006, I was actually opportune to work in a bank as a teller, which I turned down, and I joined an engineering firm for training purposes, whereby I was not placed on any salary, and I walked away from a job that would have been paying me over 200,000 as at that time.
Really?
So yes, because for me, it's about experience. It's about experience.
Then you had a vision already at the time.
Yes, because I know exactly what I want to achieve in life.
Okay.
So I took up this employment, and after a while, decided paying me. After maybe 7 months, decided paying me 15,000 compared to 200,000, because as at that time, what's actually my need? So I worked with the firm for a while, and moving job from this particular firm after 2 years of training and working with them, I secured another employment that was paying me a weekly allowance of 30,000 as a result of the experience I've been able to gather over 2 years. So you can see the trajectory. So after working also in a group of companies for about 1.5 years, I also wanted to experience how it is like to work in a multinational company.
Interesting. I hear we need to go on a break again. So when we return, we'll continue this conversation. Stay with us.
Ladies and gentlemen, pioneer, positive force member, dancing queen of the 80s, non-conformist, Afrobeat historian in her right, and long-standing member of the multiple award-winning all-female show Your View, Omoyeni, Yeni, Anikulapo Kuti, aka YK Power! Ginger!
Take it.
Today we'll go here.
Hey, I don't read you.
Are you sure?
I'm not here to answer questions, I'm here to drink.
We're in trouble today.
Wait till your age.
I was close now.
I
said 1975.
He said 73. He said 75. Fellas wasn't even born till 75.
So will I drink half?
You go drink. Take. Make I help you. Russian.
No be half.
Which half? You will make me drink. I'll give you a hint.
Lights in no. Nepa Road. Nepa Road in Abeokuta.
First of all, my brain cannot memorize everything.
A big black bug.
A big black dog.
Bug. A big black bug.
Oh, sorry. A big.
It don't start.
Ọmọ fẹlá. Ọmọ Anikulapo Kuti. Wọ́n rò pé kí ni kékeré yìí.
It's by Audison. It's not by Audison. Ladies and multiple producer, ambassador of Edo people, we have Etinosa Idemudia in the building.
Thank you for staying with us. We still have our guest, Ayolarinwaju, in the studio talking to us about his journey in the real estate sector and the processes he had to go through. One intriguing aspect is the fact that he had to turn down a 200,000 naira job as at
2006 to take up an unemployment without pay.
Unemployment without pay. So
for 7 months.
Just build the story from there.
So basically, as I was saying, to be the best in whatever you do, you have to learn from the best. So as at that time, as a young engineer, so all I set out to achieve is to be able to become a force to reckon with in the industry in which I found myself. And that is the driving force. So, to be very candid with you, I wasn't born with a silver spoon in my mouth, so I have to survive. because I've learned survivor since I was age 9, how to survive. So, so what do I do differently was the fact that in this company I was talking about, they were training me on how to design. So there was a tutorial center very close to the office. So in the evening when I close by 5, I go to the tutorial center to do 2 hours. So they pay me 150 naira per hour. So that is what I was sustaining myself on, coupled with the little allowance I was getting from home. So after 7 months, so they placed me on salary. After 7 good months, they placed me on salary of 15,000 naira. So I worked with the firm for 2 years, and I moved job again. So I went to work with another company. It's a group of company, because I moved away from working from one man to a group of company where there's a bit of structure. So I just want to experience how structure work. You know, where I was coming from, we are the accountant, we are the site clerk, we are the storekeeper. So I want to work in an organization whereby, you know, you have the site engineer. There is an organogram that will be followed. So I moved up job, and to my surprise, when they interviewed me for the job, they placed me on a weekly allowance of 32,000, not salary. Weekly allowance of 32,000. So I rose from being a site engineer to being a deputy project manager of hundreds of millions of projects. So I was coordinating 3 projects at a time: one in Elijah Bariga, one in Makoko, and one in Agulejika in Sele. And I shuttle all of these 3 sites every day. Do you understand? And they were doing different work as at that time. So, you know, because I want more, and I want to see how multinational is like. What does it feel like to work in a multinational company? So I applied, and as at the time I was applying, the role was a trainee engineer. So after working for 3.5 years, and the role available as at then was a trainee engineer, I actually took up the role, and it was a massive pay cut for me. But I experienced efficiency at the highest level. I experienced specialization at the highest level, working with an organization like that. And in 2010, I pulled out to form a company called GeoShot Consult Limited, where we major on piling works. And why do I so much want to be in the construction, in the bid sector, is the fact that people really get value for money in this sector, really. Yes, majority of people get their finger burnt. They promise them A and they deliver Z to them. And as at the time I was talking about, piling is very, very complicated, because people even handling piling as at that time, they don't have the technical prerequisite to actually undertake such projects. And the rate of foundation failures at that time is actually alarming. So I took it upon myself to say, you know what, I am going to venture into piling, and I'm going to do something differently. I will ensure every client get value for their money. So in 2010, the little money I've gathered together, around 570,000. So I used it to start up a company called GeoShot Consult Limited. So I put the money into fabrication of what they call Dandu rig. It's a smaller piling rig. It's locally manufactured. So, and when this was done, I called on people that have been in the industry, we call them the riggers, the operator in parlance language. And they have about 15 years experience.
Wow. So
me coming with 5-6 years experience. So I brought them close. I said, you know what, we can be partner on this, in this company. All I need is your expertise. I will do the technical aspect of this work. You go to site and deliver quality and deliver the job to the client. So, you know, from there I keep on building my equipment base. And in 2014, GeoShot has grew up to become a company that is over 500 million in both equipment and cash in the bank.
Sorry to cut you. Yes. I hear these figures and I'm amazed. Yes. Now, you spoke about saving to start a business.
You are washed. You still have to handle a graduate you have to teleguide them for them to be able to perform their duties. With outside that, you are just going to be.
Back to boil down to our curriculum as well.
I think it's now a culture of mental laziness. Yes, mental laziness and what do they call
entitlement.
And self-entitlement, sense of entitlement. When I was growing up, due to the nature of my background, I don't expect anything from anyone. Anything I cannot get on my own, then I have to face the music. So I know what it is to be here, I know what it is to be here, and I know what it is to be at the highest level. Yes, but I vow never to beg for anything. So everything I must give, I must earn it. So I go into what they call self-development. And when you say people work for free for people, I have worked on several projects pro bono. several projects, pro bono. Because I believe first in delivering value, then I can now say, okay, this is what I'm going to take. Majority of the time, you will be cheated. But one thing is certain, the experience cannot be taken away from you. So I've worked severally, and I've done a couple of projects. And when I say I work freely, I don't work freely in Alimosho. I work freely in Banana Island. If you want to give me a project in Alimosho, and I'm looking at doing a project in Banana Island, I will give the Banana Island my total consideration, even if they are not going to pay me.
Why?
I will be on the project.
Why?
To be able to have the experience, to be able to put up towers, to be able to put up 5, 6, 7-story buildings. Do you understand? Know when to call in particular professional as at when due. Do you understand? And it has always been my dream to provide shelters, giving people value for their money. And I can say to you that we were the first development company in Lagos to actually build an apartment building on the mainland, in Bagada to be precise, and we are sold out, even against all feasibility studies. That mainland is territorial, they want terraces, they want semi-detached, and in 2018, the project was actually delivered.
Mr. Kuyebi, I have enjoyed listening to you. I mean, I could have paid to listen to this.
Yes.
Well, whenever we hear real estate, it makes a lot of people's heart pants, because someone did a post on Instagram recently, and he said if you earn 90,000 in Nigeria, there's no way you can have savings. It's not even enough for a family of maybe a man and his wife, how much more with children. And now you're talking about a home plan. So I'm asking at the top of my head now, that so to get some kind of benefit, home plan, you must be a top earner, you must be somewhere around maybe 500,000. But you guys always preach something else. You tell us from a humble background, and you can achieve anything you want. So tell us, for so many Nigerians listening to us now who probably assume that what they make is not even enough for the month, how do we key into this thing you're talking about?
Okay, basically, I said something earlier on, self-development. And I always tell people, emergency are created by laxity. Emergency are created by laxity as a result of mental laziness. I want to go to Aja, and I'm in Agege, and I faced Abeokuta. How am I going to end up in Aja? Do you understand what I'm trying to say now? Yeah. For whatever you want to achieve in life, it has to be a plan on purpose. Absolutely. You have to work towards your goal. Imagine I work as a teller in 10 years, and in 2006, there was economic boom. Recession came in 2008. Majority of people lose their job. Majority of my mates that went into the banking sector, they lost their job. 2 years in banking, what's their experience? Nothing to fall back on. Nothing. They collected good salary for 2 years, but no experience. So, do you understand where I'm going? So, I forfeited that to actually enroll in a place whereby I can garner what? Experience, plan on purpose, to be able to achieve. So, like I said earlier on, I started this company with 570,000 naira. I am very, very frugal when it comes to money management. Yes, very frugal when it comes to money management. I have a portfolio of over 30 billion. You can't steal me with any escort. Not that I can afford. I cannot afford it, but it's not a priority. Right. Do you understand what I'm trying to say now? So, for me, the truth of the matter is just that everything I have to do, I have to set out a plan and put a timeline to it. My vision is constant. The timeline in which I achieve them is a variable. But will I achieve my goal 100%? Absolutely. So when you earn 90,000, if you are an income earner of 90,000 and you dream of buying a house one day, what are you doing with your 90,000?
Yes. Yeah, you see,
what value are you adding to yourself? They call seminar of 5,000, you cannot attend. They call financial freedom of seminar, that come and attain financial freedom. How much are you investing in self-development? Because what a mental future you cannot picture in your mind, you can never live in it. So it starts from the mindset. So when I gave birth to the vision of GMH Luxury, I was sitting on a reinforcement on a site in Ilaje Bariga. I didn't even have 300,000 in my savings. And I wrote it down, I can never forget, that by 2014, I am going to start my first development. I couldn't start in 2014, but I started in 2015. Right. By buying a land worth over 40 million naira. So I was able to move. So it's service mentality. When you have a service mentality, when you have a service mentality, when you have a mentality of rendering excellent service, money chases you. Yeah. I have never seen anyone that chases money that makes money. You can never. But when you chase excellent service, money naturally comes to you. So what do I do differently when I establish Joshua Consult Limited? Is if you come in now that you want to do piling, all I'll be doing is to educate you on how you can do a stock check on your project site. Right. That when you get there, this is what you look out for, this is what you look out for, this is what you look out for. I'll give you a cost implication to that effect. Right. And I will provide all the information you need, even as a layman, to be able to know if you are doing your work well or not. Will you rather not give me your work?
I will give you. Why don't?
But
because
when I was
have the experience.
Yeah. But when we were having the conversation, I am not pitching to do the work for you.
Yeah.
I am.
But because you're selling
you
to me the knowledge you have.
The knowledge I have.
Multiple skills.
Very good. Which is good. What I hear from you is vision. Goals, setting goals, planning, and ensuring that you are disciplined enough
resilient
to stick with your vision and your goal. Clear cut. It's very important. But then let's come back to the realities around us.
Yes.
Talking about the number of building collapse we have witnessed in recent times. In fact, in recent times we've had successive building collapse in the country and in Lagos, and it's worrisome. Some have attributed it to the soil texture because it is salty and all of those things. You hear all sorts of stories. You are the expert here who will clear the air for us. And then there's also the infiltration of these persons who now build houses, or developers, and then they are talking about the cost of building materials, how it is that they want to make a lot of money and all of those. So just help us understand what really is going on within this sector and how you are still able to distinguish yourself despite of all of these issues.
Okay, so I will tell you this. Have I failed before? Yes. But as you all know, that failure inspires winners, but it defeats losers. So in my course of, in my career progression, I've suffered fatal failures where I lost a lot of money. I had to demolish 11 units in Magodo. Yes. 11 units of terrace houses in Magodo. At first stage of finishes.
Why?
So we have this construction ongoing, and the major canal line was blocked. If you know Magodo and Magodo Brooks, what is separating the two is actually a canal line.
Yeah.
So some people came and said it's their land, and they blocked the canal, and our project was at the receiving end. So, because I know the force of nature, how water behaves when it comes to water and structure, so we had an option, whether to pull down the building or ensure the canal is actually in state. But since we don't have control over the canal, we pull down the building. In the process, we lost over 370 million. Yes. So
how did you sleep that night?
Nothing affects my mind, actually. Nothing. Because my mind is my battleground. So the truth of the matter is just that we lost money, but none of our investors lose their money because we relocated some and we refunded some. Yes. So truth hurts, but we are not going to deliver a project that cannot stand the test of time. We will not package for you a problematic, we won't pass on a project. We won't pass on a problem. When we know a project is not going to stand the test of time, we will rather cancel that particular project. And in the course of our 8 years as a development company, we've had to cancel 2 projects as a result of several environmental failure and even foundation failure. Do you understand what I'm trying to say now?
So these are the issues why we're having some of these collapse.
Yes, because they are trying to patch it up. They are trying to mend it. And nobody is going to give you what they don't have.
I'm intrigued by your story and how it is that you chose to do the right thing. So I'd had most of my corporate work experience with the real estate sector, where I'd worked as executive assistant for real estate owners in Lagos State. And I see similar cases like this, right? So they have a choice between pulling down a structure or selling the structure. Sometimes, in some other cases, they would sell the structure, leaving the owners, the buyers, to deal with such problems. And that has informed the way that I see that you've built trust over time.
Yes.
So, looking at it in the long run, did it pay you?
100%. 100% of the time. How can you grow from 570,000 in 2010 to having a project portfolio of over 30 billion in 13 years? That can only be trust. That can only be impeccable reputation. That can only be on the foundation of empathy, whereby people will say, so I've done construction works. So I started the project in 2020, and come COVID, then naira devaluation, then inflation. Completed project, they buy 90% of the time. They buy. Do you understand? So truth hurts, but it's better. Do you understand? So we always have a choice. Do we scale down the quality we've promised people? Do we do it and find a way and find a middle ground to reduce our losses and still ensure that the brand, what the brand stands for, is still upheld? Do you understand? We are still able to uphold what the brand stands for, and that is what we do differently at GMH Luxury. We try everything within our capacity to do quality, to deliver quality.
Go ahead. Yeah. So, Mr. Ayo Olariwaju, I mean, one more time, thank you so much. You've inspired me so much. I hope, aside your real estate, you're inspiring a lot of other young people. Because listening to you, I was asking myself, people like you with such passion, vision, just think of one thing, how to exit the country, because they say there are better opportunities where I can leverage on, and become more successful. What are some of the factors that's made you, keep up with this here in Nigeria? And what's your counsel to other people listening to you now? And tell us some of the books you like to read, because you sound like a reader.
Yes, actually. I do read a lot. So the truth of the matter is just that I believe in the project Nigeria. And Nigeria has given so much to me, and I have to give back. I'm not part of the people that say Nigeria happens to me. Nigeria never happens to me. Then if Nigeria happens to me, it happens to me in a good way, because it makes me who I am today.
Yes.
And so, in an emerging economy, there is thousands of problems begging for solution. If you are able to unlock just one, that can give you a generational wealth. In a developed nation, it takes more to do anything that's innovative, because everything is almost set.
Yes.
They have a good transportation. They have the basic amenities of life. So it's either you are an entrepreneur or an entrepreneur. So to be an entrepreneur is easy in a developed world than to be an entrepreneur. And when you listen to the story of Jack Ma, when he created Alibaba, there was no internet in China. How can you incorporate a company that is an e-commerce base when you don't have internet? And there is something he said. He said for the first 3-4 years, they weren't making money. But he discovered that after second, third year, whenever he goes to a restaurant, people pay for him. Because people are now getting value, service.
Yeah.
Do you understand now? They are getting value from what they are not being paid for. They enlist for free on Alibaba, and when they see him, they thank him. Do you understand? Yeah. And today, Alibaba is multi-billion-dollar empire. Do you understand what I'm trying to say? It set out to solve a problem, which was what? E-commerce. And today, Alibaba is where he is. Do you understand? So, if you can look inward, and there is a reason why there is pro before vision. That means before your vision is there is a provision for that vision. It's just for you to be able to look. So I always tell people, when you want to do business, you don't need money. You need this yourself. That's what you need.
I wonder how many people would agree with you on that, because the real estate sector is seen as a conduit for corruption.
Okay.
I wonder how you've been able to deal with that. Those who want to launder money and all of those use that sector to do that. How are you able to do that? Because from your stance, you stand for truth, and that's it. So how are you able to deal with it? That's on the one hand.
Okay.
Then Nigeria's, housing deficit, we are about 28 million as it is, and means that, according to reports, we need 28 million units of housing to addressing this deficit. So what do you think could be the solution to also addressing this? So 2 questions.
Okay, so basically, real estate is very capital intensive. And if we are going to be very truthful to ourselves, only few people can actually afford a piece of real estate in this country. Let's be very sincere with ourselves.
Absolutely.
Do you understand now?
Yeah. Right.
So combating corruption, laundering money through real estate is a very complex problem. It's like trying to determine clean money from crime money in Las Vegas. Do you understand what I'm trying to say now? It's actually very difficult. But what we've been trying to do over the time is the fact that we receive money through a proper and appropriate channel. Do you understand what I'm trying to say now? So if you want to buy into our project, you have to pay through the appropriate channel that is traceable. Do you understand? So those are the things we are actually doing differently. So if you want to buy into any of our project, there are legal means of actually of making payments. So anything outside that, we will not put our hand. Then going into the housing deficit. So we moved from 2 million in the last 15 years to 28 million. And in 2050, Nigerian population will be over 400 million. The value to bridge the gap is put at over 80 trillion. FMBN, National Housing Fund, that's ought to champion this deficit. Their market capitalization is in tens of billions. So how do you bridge the gap? So what can we do differently is very simple. We've seen what India was able to do between 2017 and 2023. They were able to deliver 17.3 million housing units. And how did they do it? By giving a subsidized loan to their citizen. The same thing was done in Brazil, My Home, My Life, in 2009 by Lula da Silva. What did they do? Subsidized loan. The same thing was done in South Africa. What did they do? Subsidized loan. How can real estate be cheap when the facility available to the real estate developer, even in the private sector, is at 30%? How can real estate be cheap when the cost of approval year in, year out is like this? It's going up. Majority of the time, over 500% of the preceding year. How can real estate be cheap? Massive naira devaluation, and 90% of finishing material for real estate is actually imported.
Wow.
Today, what's our dollar to naira? So it's a sector government really needed to pay attention to. You know, well, in 2006, I was living in... Yes, so, you know, in 2006, I was living in Agege. The travel time between Agege and Ikoyi back then is around 1 hour. Today, what is the travel time between Agege at peak period to Ikoyi? 3 hours. Because government is no longer creating new town. There are no... So the infrastructure available, they are overstretched. Because of what? The population, because there is no provision for the population expansion. Do you understand? And as far as collapse is concerned, if you look at the pattern of collapse, if you look at the collapse in recent time, it follows a particular pattern. Gone are those days that there is housing collapse in the rainy season. Now you have multi-story structure collapsing. And the reason is not far-fetched. Nobody will give you what they don't have. Is the high level of professional quackery in the real estate sector that is bringing about the collapse. An accountant wants to be an engineer.
You are breaking the table.
Unfortunately, we don't have time to continue this conversation. There's so much to say, but you have said a lot.
Thank you so much.
In just little time. We must thank you, Ayola Iwajukuyebi, for your time, and we wish you all the best.
Thank you so much for having me.
Thank you so much. Well, ladies, it's been an interesting ride, but this is where we have to close the curtains for today's show. Thank you so much for being a part of the show today. We'll see you again on Monday. Do stay safe.